What is poppin'? I'm the Slapped, and I'm but a lowly Slapped and riding these DeFi waves. And this is This Week in Klima Dune, where I give you all of the Klima Dune news that is fit to go ape wild over. It is the second week of January 2022. Half of the first month of the new year has passed, and that momentum from the first week has not let up at all, baby. Because this is crypto, baby. And this is Klima, baby. And we've got a mission, baby. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing we'll talk about is the Ask Me Anything with Flow Carbon Goddess DAO. If you're uninitiated or simply don't remember because the whirlwind of activity of January has made you all scatterbrained, I will leave a card above my finger to last week's This Week in Klima, in which context for who Flow Carbon is and Goddess DAO is and Goddess Nature Tokens was explained. So they got in front of our community for an Ask Me Anything, and we did not disappoint because we asked them questions, and they did not disappoint because they answered those questions, and that, my friends, is what I call teamwork. So some of the things that were mentioned were their background, how they got into the space, what they intend to do in the DeFi space, the value that they hope to bring to Klima, the value that they hope Klima will bring back to them, and some of the corporate partners that have expressed interest in buying their Goddess Nature token. I highly encourage you to listen to that. It is in the recording sections of the Klima Dune Discord. I will also leave a link in the description of the video to this transcript. I will also leave a link to a KIP-4 Amendment, and I will also leave a card above my finger to the original KIP-4 explainer video. So here are the changes to KIP-4. It was originally proposed that Klima put up $5 million worth of wrap stake Klima to be matched with $5 million of Geom from Olympus into a liquidity pool. So instead of using wrap stake Klima, we will just use Klima. So it'll be a Klima Geom instead of a wrap stake Klima Geom liquidity pool. And instead of putting up $5 million up front, it's going to be $500,000 worth of Klima, and that will step up gradually to $5 million. I will also draw to your attention in this forum a lone legend in the comment section and his insightful contribution of "and yes, they will write poems about you _NN_. The ancients themselves will write poems about you. Bless you, dear sir." KIP-8 was also proposed by Brian. That guy's been drinking a lot of coffee, I think. Klima USDC liquidity pools. This gets a little bit wonky and technical. I will do my best to explain this. So here's the best way to explain it is there's a problem. And the problem is if you want to buy Klima right now with USDC, the only way to do that, or the most efficient, the most likely way that will be routed through the automated market maker is USDC to BCT and then BCT to Klima. There's no direct ramp from USDC to Klima, which means that the buy pressure that should be caught by Klima is now being caught by BCT and Klima. So if we have a direct on-ramp and off-ramp of fiat to Klima, that liquidity position, then Klima can capture that buy pressure, almost all of it, if not all of it. The second thing is if we can build a large Klima USDC liquidity position, then down the line, as we keep onboarding more carbon assets into our treasury, we will not have to create every carbon token. We will not have to pair every carbon token with its own individual USDC pool, which will increase our capital efficiency. There are some other advantages as well. If you did not understand most of that or even all of that, that's fine. These are complicated concepts. Feel free to take a look at the proposal. There's some diagrams that might help you out. And you can also scroll down to the comments where people are asking intelligent questions. And if you want, you can just get into the Discord policy forum and ask your questions there. Or if Brian does his policy talks, which he's been doing weekly, you might have a chance to ask him directly. Because the team has time for you. And that is demonstrated in this week's Planet of the Klimates, where our fearless leader, our man with the plan, our man without a tan, well, does he have a tan? Not sure, because nobody's ever seen him. That's a profound statement. Nobody's ever seen Archimedes. I should say that Archimedes has not been seen by members of the DAO, at least knowingly. Archimedes joined the Planet of the Klimates, and that is something that he touched on, was will he and the core team remain anonymous? And I'm not going to tell you, because you should be listening to this podcast yourself. You should be subscribed. So there's that. He gives his background. He gives how Klima was born. He gets into Klima Infinity. He explains it very well, at least at a high level, and I will give you a shortened version. Klima Infinity is a very powerful program that Klima is developing that would allow entities, corporations to hold Klima, and in return, their carbon offsets would be managed offset for them by holding Klima. And Archimedes does a much better job, much more thorough job of explaining what that would look like. He also gets into some alpha, where he talks about bank cards. I don't know what's gotten into Archimedes and Korean. It almost like they're having a leak off. Who can be more leaky? And I'll tell you this much. If we were a ship, we would be 20,000 leagues under the sea how much these guys are leaking alpha. And they didn't stop here. On the mini office hours, Archimedes continued his reign of alpha leaking terror, in which he gave a little tease of Uniswap v3. Those who do not know, Uniswap v3 is an automated market maker very similar to SushiSwap. It's on Polygon now. And one of the things that's intriguing about Uniswap v3 is it allows for what's called a concentrated liquidity pool or position. So a liquidity provider can basically direct their liquidity to a certain range of prices that they believe to be reasonable, and that increases capital efficiency. So Archimedes brings that up. He brings up the Moss Klima LP that could be bonded into the treasury, and saying that's coming along because there's price oracles that are being worked on, and once those are figured out, it's not so long after that Moss Klima LP will be bonded to the protocol. And then he drops this bombshell and says that there's the possibility, that a carbon-backed stablecoin might be created. Very interesting stuff. Listen to the mini office hours if you want more details on this. He also goes further into what the Klima Infinity program would look like. That's in the recording section of the Discord. And then Chaz Schmidt also dropped some alpha. He mentioned that there's going to be an anti-scam team, scam busters inside of Klima to address these, some of the phishing attempts and some of the ne'er-do-wells that are taking advantage of DeFi users. I will leave a card above my finger if you want an example of that. He also mentioned that there will be a Learn Solidity program for people in the contributor server who show interest in engineering that will be open to anyone who shows interest in engineering in the contributor server. Solidity is a programming language on which smart contracts are often built. Very cool stuff, as well as a ticketing program. So a formal ticketing program, because we're getting legit now. And if you have some sort of problem that you want to address in the Discord, whether it be technical, maybe you open up a ticketing system, and a professional, maybe yours truly, can help you out. But it's likely somebody more knowledgeable. And so penultimately, not last but not least, but second to last but not least, last week I challenged you DeFi detectives, you sleuths, to a Twitter mystery. And this week's Twitter mystery would be from Toucan, who onboards BCT or on-chains BCT. It says, you might be familiar with BCT, the leading carbon asset of Web3 and backer of digital currency Klima, but carbon isn't one size fits all. At Toucan, we've been working on releasing the next on-chain environmental asset. Which one? If you think you know what it is, if you want to show how big brain you are, how much you've been paying attention, because there have been little clues sprinkled throughout the Klima universe, the Klimaverse, if you will, leave it in the comments of this video. Now, this is last. On my favorite thing, the Dune dashboard, we have a new color on the market value of treasury assets graph. This nice, I think it's a teal color. This represents the value of MC02 that has been bonded into our treasury in a short amount of time. $250,000. Not too shabby, boys and grills. And it's approximately 32,000 MC02 in short time. Well done. This shows the power of DeFi. This shows the power of Klima. And this shows the power of these Klimates banding together. It's a powerful force. You're powerful, powerful people. Keep being powerful. And remember to ape responsibly, would you? Peace, dudes.